The profit of doctors.
When you talk about prisons, because we are talking about prisons. When you talk about the prison itself, number one, a lot of the policies that are on these streets today, I believe they were started in prisons, or should I say that the same policies that adhere to prisons, they these policies are taken up by police officers on the street, because
The
one thing
profit
in
of
prison
doctors.
that the safety officers or correctional officers or detention officers, whichever you want to call them, one thing about them, they know that everybody in there, especially in a prison, they know everybody in there has been convicted. So they know that everybody's a convicted felon that's walking around in there, or they're not there. Okay, they're convicted felon. So
The
they're looked at
profit
as
of
convicted felons.
doctors.
So they looked at as non-people, non-human, non-whatever. Okay, so the way that they treat them in there, they treat them less than human, because
The
that's how they
profit
see them.
of doctors.
Okay, that is the perception of them as being less than human, so they are treated like less than humans. Ergo, we get to the street. Get to the street, it's the same thing. Okay, police see freaking black guys walking the street. They look at them just like they looked at inside of correctional facilities and prisons and penitentiaries. They looked at them the same way. Okay, the same
The
exact way.
profit of
So those
doctors.
policies are in both places as well. They're both on the street and they're also inside the prison. Okay, that's why these brothers are getting shot down in the street. That's why these brothers are getting roughed up, killed, and hurt, and beat, and everything else, and shot, because they do them the same way in prisons. It's the same exact thing. It's the same thing. It's the same policy. It's the same form of white supremacy, control, custody. It's the same premise.
The
Those things
profit
are
of
they
doctors.
are interlocked. They're synchronous. Those things, the streets and the prisons and the prison policies, the street policies and the prison policies are one and the same. And if anybody doesn't believe that, I mean, they haven't been paying attention.
The profit
They
of
just haven't been paying
doctors.
attention. Another thing I want to talk about is the economy of prisons. Um, Prisons do have an economy. They are part of this economy. And I'm going to explain to you how I came to this belief. Now, when a person is in a prison, okay, when they are locked up, when they are
The
confined,
profit of
they have
doctors.
access to something called commissary, right? And what that commissary is money that they've either earned working in
The profit
the
of
prison
doctors.
kitchen, or being a janitor, or working over at the supply building, whatever the case may be. They have money because their family members can come and give them money, mail them money, all that kind of stuff can happen. And you do have people in there who send them stuff from outside to make sure that they have money so they can have food
The
and their little
profit of
extras,
doctors.
underwear, socks, whatever the case may be. Plus, they sell other stuff in there too, especially in the prisons. In the prisons, they sell chicken and potato chips and candy and soda and cigarettes and all these other
The
kind of things
profit
they
of
sell
doctors.
in there. So, if a inmate or convict, whatever you want to call him, when it comes his time to go and spend his money, he takes his money and he buys chicken,
The
he buys
profit of
candy bars, he
doctors.
buys sodas, he buys soap, he buys shampoo, he buys hair grease, he buys, whatever he needs from over there, underwear, socks, batteries
The
for his
profit of
Walkman after
doctors.
he's bought that. So they buy these things. And at those prisons, guess what? Guess what? You
The
see
profit of doctors.
Snickers trucks, you see Haagen-Dazs trucks, you see Coca-Cola trucks, you see Pepsi trucks. Okay, you see them coming to the prison. Why? Because the prisons have to be supplied with these things. It has nothing to do with three hots and a cot. I mean, Pepsi. Even if Pepsi didn't come there, the prisoners would get three hots and a cot. But see, Pepsi is coming there because see, Pepsi is making money off of that prison. Okay, it's
The
not like they're
profit of
giving this
doctors.
stuff to the state or the county or whoever runs the prison, who's in charge of the prison. It's not like they're giving them it. They're selling them this stuff. And I'm gonna tell
The
you another
profit
thing.
of doctors.
about the products in the prisons, because they sell all kinds of stuff now. They sell junk food, they sell snack cakes, they sell potato chips, they sell yogurt, they sell ice cream, they sell fruit, they sell all that stuff in the commissary, right? Now, here's the kicker. When that stuff comes to the prison, a lot of it, the sell by date, you know, that little date that's in the corner of whatever you buy, whether it be milk or potato chips or cereal or cake mix or whatever the case may be, it has a sell by date. And that sell by date means sell by this date. And if it's not sold by that date, the stores are supposed to take it off of the shelves, right? Now, inside of a prison, that same stuff that a store couldn't make a nickel off of, you know, they couldn't make a nickel off of it. Now what they do, not only, because one thing about big business, let me tell y'all something about big business. They already figure in, okay, how much stuff they're going to lose. That's part of their bottom line. They know they're going to lose some products. I mean, it's just a hazard of doing business. So that they figure that into their bottom line, and I guarantee you they figure out a way to write that off in taxes as a loss, okay? But see, here's the kicker: when they're selling it to prisons, they get to write it off, okay, on their taxes as a loss. Sorry, y'all, it's a helicopter flying over. They get to write it off as a tax loss, and not only do they get to write it off as a tax loss because it's part of their bottom line, that same stuff that they wrote off as a tax loss, they take that shit and give it to the prisons or sell it to the prisons, okay, and still make money off of the shit. They still make money off of it, even though they wrote it off as a loss. So they double dip. Not only do they still make money off of it by selling it to the prisons, now of course they sell it to them for a reduced price because the sell by date is gone and all that kind of stuff, but they still make money off of it and they sell it in bulk. It's not like they come there with like one box of it. They come there with a whole tractor trailer load of it, okay? And they give the inmates, inmates stuff. It's May, but the sell by date is March, okay? It's August, but the sell by date is June on the box. Just so happened that the food is still good, so they're in freaking prison. Of course they're gonna buy it because they want it, you know? They want it. If they have money, they're going to buy it. And you figure if a prisoner, right? Let's say a prison has, and how many guys are in a prison? How many? You figure, say there's 5,000 dudes in a prison, okay? Say there's 5,000 dudes in any particular prison. And all those dudes, because every prisoner in there has access to some kind of money. All he got to do is have some kind of job, okay? He doesn't even have to have a family member sending him money. He has access to some kind of money. So what do? They paid him his miserable wages for doing everything from cleaning, making uniforms, making license plates, making furniture, doing electrical work, doing cleanup work, doing sanitation work, all that kind of stuff they get. And they paid them like 25 cents an hour. 10 cents an hour, 50 cents an hour, $1 an hour. That's what they get paid for what they'd be paying somebody $20 an hour for out in the world. Not only do they get that, okay, they get that, so they have their little money and they're going to spend it where? In the commissary. They're going to buy this stuff because they don't have no choice, okay? Because as I was saying earlier, prison is an economy. It's an economy. All right, because they make uniforms, they make license plates, they make all these kinds of things. They make furniture in prison. I mean, they take prisoners out on buses and they do sanitation work, they do carpentry work, they do woodwork, they do all kinds of stuff. They work on highways, you know, they clean up parks, they do all that kind of stuff, grass cutting, landscaping, and they get paid like 50 cents an hour. Okay, and the little bit of 50 cents of an hour money that they make, they end up taking that money and spending it right back in a commissary. Okay, and not only do they get that money, the prison also sells. Okay, they also sell whatever they make, because whatever they have those dudes making in there, and the women too, whatever they have them making in there, it's not like they're taking it and giving it to people. They're taking it and they're selling it to people. Okay, whether it be a company, whether it be a county, a state, a police agency, a fire department, whatever the case may be, they're making some money off of it. Okay, Not only are they making money off of the cheap labor that they're saving, they're also making money off of whatever they have the cheap labor inmates making, whatever they're manufacturing, whatever they're building, whatever they're putting together, whatever they're fixing, they're making money off of that too. And that's why I say prison is an economy. Now let me go back to what I said before. If there had 5,000 inmates in a prison, okay, forget 5,000, let's say 1,000. Say there's 1,000 inmates in a prison, right? And each week, okay, every one of those prisoners or inmates spends $10, okay? $10. That's $10,000 per week. That's $10,000 a week that the prison is making, okay? And if the prison ain't making it or the state ain't making it, the private contractors of the prison are making it, or Haagen-Dazs is making it, or Coca-Cola is making it. Somebody's making that money, because it's not like they're giving the inmates this stuff. The inmates are buying it. When things are being bought and sold, it is an economy. And if it's an economy, that means it's part of the bigger economy. And that's only if the inmates are spending just $10. And you know there's inmates in there that spend more than that. So a prison can easily make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And that's in a modest-sized prison with only 1,000 people. As the number of prisoners go up, the number of money that can be spent also goes up. I bet you some of those prisons, those big prisons that hold like 4,000 and 5,000 people, man, I bet you easily they raking in $500,000 a week just on inmate commissary. I guarantee you. Just on inmate commissary, they are probably making $500,000. And that's probably a conservative figure. That's how I know prisons are part of the economy. That's why there are so many of them, and that's why they're going to continue to build them, and they want to continue to keep us in them. Yeah, you hear all the yelling and screaming and all the accomplishments that so far have been made, and I applaud everyone's efforts and I applaud their results. But make no mistake, America is never going to be a place where they're going to start just dramatically cutting down mass incarceration, diversion programs to keep people out of jail, and, you know, giving people less time. And yeah, if it happens, I don't think I'm going to live to see it. And y'all can remember that I said it. I don't think I'm going to live to see it. Okay? I don't think I'm going to live to see a time when, you know, jail and prisons are only half full. I don't think I'm going to live to see that. You know? So, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's part of an economy. It's a business, okay? It's not just, you know, punitive anymore, okay? It's not just punitive anymore. It's profitable. It's also profitable. There's a money incentive. And whenever there's a money incentive, trust me, people ain't going to be as quick to just let it go. No matter how good it sounds or how much of a noble gesture it would be to let it go, it's not going to overrule the money factor in it. Because the money factor in it is always going to keep people wanting it to stay, especially the people who are making the money off of it. You think they're willing to just let that money go? Okay, in the name of what's right? Yeah, right. Shoot, they don't care about what's right. They care about making money. So with that, I gotta say, hey, anybody who doesn't understand how this prison thing works, they're crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are in prison who definitely belong there. You know, there's some crazy people amongst us, okay, who they have no business out on the street. A lot of them probably need to be in a mental institution or some type of mental rehab, you know, so they can get their heads straight, a lot of them, okay? But there's actually some of them in there who actually need to be there because they've done hideous, ridiculous, harmful, hurtful things to people, okay? And they've done things that we can't have them in society. Now, for us to judge them, no. But for them to be punished what they did, yes. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be punished, okay? You do something wrong, you should be punished. But the punishment has to fit the crime, I think. I mean, if you go out there and you rob and you kill people, guess what, man? You need to face some heavy punishment because that's a heavy crime. But, you know, having a $25 piece of crack on you, man, I mean, come on. I mean, who the hell are you hurting with that? Because you got a piece of crack on you, you know? Even if you're selling it, even if you got caught selling it. I mean, you're not forcing these people to buy this stuff. Is it right? No, but it's not like you got a gun to their head and telling them to buy it. So, I mean, we have to be wary of how we punish people and how we judge people too. We have to be. We have to be. You know? I'm not saying people shouldn't be punished, okay? But I mean, how you punish them, man, is how it's going to ultimately be. How it's ultimately going to be defined. That's how it's ultimately going to be defined. How do you punish this person? You know? How do you punish them? I mean, it has to be proportionate. And that's the, like I said, like in prisons and jails, law enforcement, everything else, it's the same thing out on the street like I was talking about before. I mean, they feel like they're punishing a person. But see, the punishment has to be proportionate to what the threat is, like the use of force. I mean, of course, police are authorized to use force. They have a gun, they have a fucking taser, they got pepper spray, they got a billy club, they got handcuffs, you know, they got a dog. You know, I mean, they are obviously a person who is, you know, authorized to use some degree of force on you. But the thing is the force proportionate to the threat. I mean, if a guy has a gun and he's pointing his gun at you and he's shooting at you, you damn skipper, you got every right in the world to shoot back at the motherfucker, because I would. You got every right to shoot back at that person. Okay, they're shooting at you. But if a person is standing there with a pocket knife, okay, and he's 10 feet away from you, I don't think you need to pull your gun out and shoot him with your gun, especially if you have a billy club and a taser and rubber bullets in your hands and your fist and all. I mean, you know, I'm not saying don't defend yourself. Absolutely defend yourself. Shoot, I got a billy club or some pepper spray. I don't care about no dude with no knife. Are you kidding me? He's never going to get close enough to use it anyway. Especially if he's 10 feet away, he's never going to get close enough to use it if I got all that shit. I got all that. He's never getting close. Because when I see him coming, I'm going to have my hand on my pepper spray. I'm like, man, hey, look, back up with that knife, brother. I'm going to gas you. I'm going to gas you if you don't. And trust me, I'm going to gas you good, too. Gas you good. You run in, boy, you're going to get a mouthful of this shit. Get a mouthful of this. You know? Get a mouthful of this here. You know? The response has to be proportionate to the threat. Shit, as simple as that. Like I said, brother get caught with a crack, with a little $25 bag of crack, man, come on. That's no major threat to society. That's no major threat to people's well-being. It's no major threat to anyone's life, okay? So why the big heavy sentence, okay? Same, like I said, like on the street. Shoot, you see a dude, he don't got nothing in his hand and he's charging you. I mean, shoot, I don't think the proportionate response should be pull out the 9mm and empty a clip in him. I just don't think that's proportionate to the threat, you know? And they like to lie on that, oh, I feared for my life, and, you know, I thought he went for my gun, I thought he was going to go for my gun, and all this kind of nonsense. Come on, man. Come on, dude standing up there, man, he ain't got nothing in his hands, and you got pepper spray and all that on you, man, you can keep him up off of you, man. With all of that, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't care what he got. Shoot, if he ain't got a gun, I don't need one. Shoot, if he ain't got a gun, shoot, even if he got a bat, or even if he's got a bat or a stick or a machete or a spear, whatever man, I don't need no gun. When I got a taser, I got pepper spray, I got, what do I need a gun for? Please, because he got a little pocket knife. I need to pull my gun and shoot him in the head because he's got a pocket knife in his hand and he's like 10 feet away. Man, I don't think that's the way to go. It's not proportionate to the threat. I'll say again, it's just not. And until the understanding of that, okay, until the understanding of that takes place in any jurisdiction, whether it be a little town, a little hamlet, a little neighborhood, a little county, a city, a state, or all over this miserable country. Until that understanding takes place within any one of those police jurisdictions, people will always continue to get killed, because that's basically the crux of it. The response is never proportionate to what the threat is. It's always way over the top. A guy just got killed in Chicago. Okay, I can't remember his name. I feel bad that I don't remember his name, but I'm familiar with the story. And they were chasing him down the road, and he wasn't even running fast. He was pulling up his pants, you know, and all that. And he had a knife in his hand, and he was walking down the middle of the street. Now the police, they were to his left, and from looking at the film, I would say he was a good 6 to 10 feet away from them, even maybe farther than that. I'm being kind of conservative. He could have been like 10 feet away from them, maybe even 15 feet away from him. And he was running with the knife, and he was heading away from them. He was actually walking straight, and they were to his left. They were on his left flank, and he never headed towards their direction. And man, one of those cops unloaded 16 bullets. Okay? And a lot of those bullets he unloaded while that man was already on the ground. He was already, because he shot him the first 1 or 2 times and spent the kid around, and he fell down on the ground, and he continued to unload in him after he was on the ground. Man, it was so egregious. And let me tell you something. He did not respond proportionately to the threat that was at hand, and that's why that kid is dead. And believe it or not, they actually arrested him, which is like unbelievable. You know, after a lot of controversy, because they weren't going to arrest them, even though they say they were. They wasn't, but that tape came out. They didn't have no choice. They didn't have any choice but to arrest them. There's no way they could spin it. It's been like a year, okay, since he's done it. And see, they had figured out there was no way to spin it anymore. They had spent it all they could spin it. So now they had to come on out with it and make sure they locked him up at the same time that they showed the video, you know? So, maybe there'll be some justice there. You know, it's November 25th now, so 2015. As it stands now, the officer has been arrested. Okay, so that's a good thing. And yeah, but that's what it is. The threat, the response, it isn't proportionate to the threat. You know why? Because they look at a black man as subhuman, black woman as subhuman. You know, we're not human. We're all convicted felons. We're all convicted felons, and we don't have rights. And it's easy to accuse us of going for a gun, going for a taser, charging, lunging. It's so easy. It's so easy for them to say that about us, and for it to be accepted. And for it to be accepted on black and white. It's easy. That's why they always get away with it. They said the same thing about this guy, about this kid. They said the same thing. Oh, he lunged for us. You look at the tape. No, the hell he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he did not. He did not lunge for you. You're lying. You are a lying ass cop, is what you are. He did not lunge for you or anyone else. If everybody else felt so lunged at, how come you're the only cop that shot? Because you looked at that boy with that knife and you said his life don't mean nothing. That's what you thought. His life means nothing. I'm going to shoot him and keep shooting him because it feels good to shoot him. That's what you was thinking. That's what you was thinking. Your freaking assessment of the situation was totally off. Your response was totally off, officer. It was totally off. And now that boy is dead. And hopefully your ass at the very least do some time. At the very least. Do some time. At the very best, do a lot of fucking time. Shit, do a lot of time. Because that was just egregious what I saw today. And this is my first time seeing it. Okay, it was just egregious what happened to that kid, man, out there. It's just, that's the only reason why they're doing what they're doing. Because, boy, it is so outrageous, it is so over the top that they don't have any choice. They have to do it. They don't have any choice. And that's the only reason why they're doing it. They've spent it for a year, and they know that the spinning's over. There's no more spinning. They know that it's over. So they had to do this. And watch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till as it go on, because like I said, it's November 25th now, 2015, but give it another month or so. Give it another month or so. You're going to see everything get spent. You're going to hear people tell you how you're not seeing what you're seeing. I mean, you're gonna hear the whole gauntlet. Y'all know. Any of you who follow the Prophet of Thought series, y'all know. You're gonna hear, oh, that's not what you're seeing. You're not seeing him get shot. You know, we don't have all the angles yet. You know, this is the nonsense you're gonna hear. You know, this is the nonsense you're gonna hear now that the video is out. Because now that it's out, it's gonna be on TV every damn day. Okay, it's gonna be on TV every day until another story comes up. Okay, but it's getting a lot of play now. So, and it's going to be spent, and the geniuses and the so-called criminal analysts and former law enforcement and former chiefs of police, and you're going to see all these freaking law enforcement experts on TV and on panels giving their damn analysis of the situation, what the family should do, what the police department should do. And then you're going to have the total diehard cop-minded freaking former, okay, police chiefs and commissioners, a lot who have already been locked up for something or another their own selves, okay? They're going to be sitting up there and they're going to be telling you how, you know, he did look like he did have a knife, you know, and he was authorized in what he did, and I don't think it should be murder, and, you know, we don't have all the different angles from the different dash cams of the police officers' cars. You know, you're going to hear all that nonsense too. You're going to hear all of that too. So get prepared for it. Get prepared for it. Trust me, get prepared for it. And, I mean, I've only seen the video earlier today. I haven't really had the chance to like look at it and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to grab it. We're going to grab it. You know, here at the Prophet of Thought series, we do that thing. So we're going to grab it. And what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to take it and we're going to clean it up. We're going to try to clean the video up a little bit. You know, we're going to take it and we're going to do that with it. And because I want to see some detail. So we're going to take it. We're going to clean it up. We're gonna because you know it's all over the place now. I mean, it's been on TV this morning. That's it. It's everywhere. You can find it anywhere now. So we're gonna grab it. We're gonna grab it, and we're going to clean it up, make it clear, and we're gonna put it on Prophet of Thought series future broadcast, and it's definitely gonna be on our website and our Facebook page, and we're gonna talk about it, y'all. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But I went way off topic. I just, I don't know. I just want y'all to open y'all minds. That's it. That's it. That's all we want. We want y'all to open y'all minds. We don't want y'all to think like us. We don't want y'all to think like our team or anybody that's part of the Prophet Thought series, media group, anybody. We don't want you to think like us. We just want you to think, period. That's it. But anyway, Prophet of Thought series. Open your minds.